Hello, thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I am here to help you establish and maintain a consistent Speak Out home practice routine. Today we have a fun session. Our topic is puppets. Everybody say puppets with intent. Ready? Puppets. Again, speak out. Puppets. And before we practice smiling with intent, we need some inspiration. And so we have a photo that was sent in by Sharon, who has been in our program here at Parkinson Voice Project in Richardson, Texas for many years. Sharon, we love that smile. You are our inspiration for today. So let's go ahead, everyone. Smile with intent. Very good. Take your sip of water. If you're new to these sessions, you always want to be sitting up at a table with your computer or your iPad. A phone, I think it's more difficult to see the reading. So ideally, at a computer using an iPad, and have a cup of water. I sip on warm water. You do not need to do that. Any water will do. Take a sip of water. We're going to start with the first speak out exercise. I want you to connect these syllables while you project your voice forward. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Even though I'm using my hand, I'd rather you did not use your hand. All right, I'm just using my hand to help you, but I want you to be able to sit on a chair or a couch and project your voice forward without having to use your hands. All right, here we go with the next warm-up. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Again. May, me, my, moo. We are being deliberate. We are concentrating. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. The more you exaggerate, the better. One more time. May, me, my, mo, moo. Very nice. Take a sip of water. We are exercising the muscles that we use for speaking and swallowing. So make sure you're not just going through the motions. You're really thinking about it and speaking out. Moving on to speak out exercise number 2, the ahs. Deliberately, purposefully, open your mouth wide and project that ah forward. Here we go. Ah. Sometimes people with Parkinson's feel like they're opening their mouth wide, but they're not. So it's not a bad idea to use a little mirror and just make sure. Let's do it again. Keep the sound consistent. Let's do it again. Good. Let's do a shorter one with intent. more. Good. Go ahead and take a sip of water with intent. As you go through Speak Out Therapy, hopefully you are starting to incorporate intent into everything you're doing. Picking up your fork, swallowing, putting on your seatbelt, riding, walking, everything. Let's move on to Speak Out exercise number 3, the glides. Project out a steady ah first, then start gliding. Ready? Ah. Stop. Ah. Good. Let's do it again. Good. Make sure to stop all the way at the top. Close your mouth, relax before you do the downward glide. Let's do it again. Good. As you're gliding down, make the sound stronger and make sure it ends in front of you, not back here. Let's start high and glide down. Ready? Ah. Good. Concentrate. One more time. Start high. Ah. Very nice. We are done with the glides. Take a sip of water. Today, after this session, we have our Parkinson sing-along. So make sure that after this session, you click on the Zoom link and participate in the Parkinson sing-along. You can get the Zoom link from the homepage of our website, or Sandy will post it in the chat for you. And if you can't participate live because you're in Australia, then you can use the recording. But if you are in a time zone where you can practice right after this live session, go ahead and do it. I want you to plan every Thursday on exercising your speech and your swallowing muscles for an hour every Thursday. All right, moving on to the counting, where we are going to re-coordinate. We're going to get the speech mechanism working right. Lift every number and speak out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice how I'm reaching for the last number of each row. We do not want to trail off. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. With each number, kind of lift. Sometimes I put my hand up like this, so it's 1, 2. Let's go backwards. Start with 12. Ready? 12. Ready? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, Good. We're getting a good workout. Take a sip of water and we'll move on to the reading. The topic today was inspired by several of you who have reached out about Dr. Boone's nonsense words, the gula, gangaga, and kukla, and all of that. And you were asking, did Dr. Boone come up with those based on the show Kukla, Fran, and Ollie? And I bet he did. Dr. Boone was, I believe he earned his PhD in the 1950s. So I bet it was his nonsense words that work on strengthening the back of the tongue probably were inspired by the show Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. And our bonus reading will be about that show. All right, let's read these sentences with intent. Do you have a favorite puppet? Say it with more intent. Do you have a favorite puppet? And go ahead and answer. Do you have a favorite puppet now or when you were growing up that you like to watch? Say it with intent. Let's read the next one. There was Howdy Doody and Lamb Chop. Stretch out the highlighted words. Read it again. There was Howdy Doody and Lamb Chop. And here is Sherry Lewis with Lamb Chop. And I want to mention that in 2014, we had a big show. We used to have, before the pandemic, big shows where 100 Speak Out graduates would be performing for a crowd of 1,000. This is Sherry Lewis's daughter, Mallory, who is a relative of Ben and Eleanor Brown, and they've been in our program for a long time. So we got to have Mallory and Lamb Chop at our show. Let's read this sentence with intent. Jim Henson created the Muppets. Again, Jim Henson created the Muppets. And last sentence, Fred Rogers voiced the puppet Daniel Tiger. Read it again with more intent. Fred Rogers voiced the puppet Daniel Tiger. I used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood all the time. Did you watch that show, or did your children or nieces, nephews watch that show? Say it with intent. If you wanted to be a puppeteer, what are 3 things that you must be able to do? Think about that and say your answer with intent. Here's what Lisa came up with. When you read it, say number 1. Ready? Number 1, make the puppet move. Number 2, give the puppet personality. Number 3, voice the puppet with intent. Yes, it takes a lot of intent to do that. I want you, well, first of all, name this puppet first. Say his name with intent. Kermit the Frog. Who was Kermit the Frog's love interest? Say her name with intent. Miss Piggy, of course. Now I want you to name 3 other puppets. Think of other puppets and say their names with intent. Read these with me. Number 1, Pinocchio. Number 2, Howdy Doody. Number 3, Kermit the Frog. All right. Take a sip of water if you need it. We're going to move on to Dr. Boone's words that were probably inspired by Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. All right, we're going to read these twice. Exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. Say those sounds with even more intent. We'll read each one twice. Ready? Gula ganga ga. Again. Gula ganga ga. Good. Next one. Kukamanguka. Don't let it trail off. Again. Kukamanguka. And the next one. Gangla. With intent. Gangla. And the last one. Ready? Kukla. Kukla. Very nice. All right, we're going to do our bonus reading. Take a sip of water if you need it. Here's the bell. I bet you recognize this picture. And let's go ahead and read. Exaggerate the highlighted words. Here we go. Kukla, Fran, and Ollie is an early American television show using puppets. It was created for children, but was soon watched by more adults than children. It did not have a script and was entirely ad-libbed. It was broadcast from Chicago between October 13th, 1947 and August 30th, 1957. Let's go ahead and read the first part again. You saw the words, you're more familiar with them. Now use more intent. Ready? Kukla, Fran, and Ollie is an early American television show using puppets. It was created for children, but was soon watched by more adults than children. It did not have a script and was entirely ad-libbed. Very nice. Now, you can download today's reading material, take what you learned during the session, practice, practice, practice. I encourage you reading the bonus reading, the paragraph 3 times, each time trying to be more deliberate. Now, it is time to go to the online Parkinson sing-along. If you've never tried it, I don't want you to say you do not like to sing. Just try it anyway. If you don't like it, don't come back. I think you will enjoy it, though. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have fun singing with intent.